Marty's Garden is all about compost worms, composting, farming worms indoors and out, and growing some of the most awesome food around. You can learn how by clicking the subscribe button and hitting the bell so you don't miss any of my videos.
Welcome to the Marty's Garden Show.
G'day my friends, Marty Ware here from martysgarden.com.au, and today I want to show you two of my worm farms plus a little fertilizer trick that you'll see at the end of the video. This is the exact worm farm I'm using to film my video course, Starting a Worm Farm, a Beginner's Guide. I wanted to show off this farm as it's not even 2 weeks old yet. As I first open the farm, you see a couple of worms free-ranging on top of the bedding. They just may be coming to the surface to lay some cocoons because I threw some old castings from another farm and they love hanging around that biology because it's nice and moist and full of microbes. So let's have a look underneath this newspaper in the feeding zone. How cool is this, guys? They're just going crazy over that grain that I'm feeding them, and they're breeding and feeding just awesomely. Now, you couldn't be more happy than that with a worm farm that's under 2 weeks old. So let's have a look at worm farm number 2, the Hungry Bin. This is one of my favourite plastic worm farms for intermediate farmers, worm farmers. Now, what I'm finding is the Hungry Bin holds a lot of material. I've got a sawdust, a coffee composted sawdust bedding in there. I started with 500 tiger worms, 75 Euro night crawlers, and around about 80 African night crawlers. Now they're all doing really well. I grabbed a handful of the worms to start that other worm farm that you were looking at around about a bit over 10 days ago now for the worm farming course. And they're just exploding like crazy. There's so many cocoons in there, and to be honest, it's nearly ready to harvest the casting. So I've just got to go down below and check the clip and see how they're going. So I'm really happy with this type of worm farm. Now I picked it up for $100 second hand, so keep an eye open for them. They do come up second hand, and sometimes people are even throwing them out or giving them away. So keep an eye out online in places where they sell second-hand stuff. You might be able to get a Hungry Bin and get started and move into that intermediate worm farming. That brings it to another level yet again. But look, the other little farms, they're great, but the Hungry Bin, it's cool too, but they're a bit hungry, and they're they're a bit heavy and partial to heating up. So you've got to keep them in the right position, right? So in the next part of this video, I want to show you how I'm making something to fertilise some of my garden. Take a look at this, guys. This is my worm casting tea sitting here in a 10-litre bucket. Now what I like to do is fill up one of these little spray bottles and get as much oxygen in there as possible, and then get ready to spray it all over my plants, including these microgreens. This is one of my favourite microgreens called Rocket Arugula, and it has a really great peppery flavour. So recently I salvaged some orchids from a deceased estate, and they were looking pretty bad, and I'd thrown them in the garden and they'd been neglected for about a year. So I thought I'd bring them out and start spraying them with some worm cast tea and see how they come along. Let me know in the comments box down below if you'd like to follow along about how well these orchids do as I bring them back to life with the worm cast tea. I spray it over literally everything, my avocado trees and even these papaya fruits, to keep the biology really healthy and slow down black spot as the weather cools down, because that can come quite predominant here in the winter times in Australia. So I've already started harvesting papaya, and as you can see, these ones that are yellowing up, they're already starting to get a little bit of black spot on them. And you wouldn't believe it, but take a look at this, a little passion fruit from my vertical vine. Yep, I'll be having that one for brekkie. Now, I haven't bought a fertilizer from the shop for years now, and I don't really plan to ever again. Everything that I make comes from worms, and you can easily do it too. It's virtually free, and if you want to learn how to farm worms at home and turn it into liquid fertilizers, castings, and all that type of stuff, go over and check out my wait list, because there's another course coming up real soon over at martysgarden.com.au. I've got a link down below, and I look forward to seeing you over there. There's going to be plenty of other cool free content coming to you while you're waiting for the course to arrive. Happy gardening. See you at the next video real soon, and bye for now.